was warned when I chose to investigate this area known as the refuge. There were a few joking warnings from other paranormal investigators. Those groups that were rather new to the business and hadn't seen what I have. There were, of course, the more serious warnings, one from learned men who had studied the area but had chosen against risking themselves in it. The second from another group of paranormal investigators who had lost friends to an expedition in the area. The third from a psychic I'd worked with a few times. It's not that I chose to ignore them, it's it is simply that in my hubris, I believed I could deal with the situation. I have never been more wrong in my life. Sadly, I was not the only one to suffer my pride. Along with me, an expedition of three of my fellow investigators, Ruben, one of our technical aspects, cameras, microphones, and liked the bridged on logistics. She dealt with travel, kept us supplied, and joined us to keep things running smoothly. And Tobias, who, like me, was more of a hands on investigator. Everything had to run smoothly. We set up with no issues. The first night seemed quiet, though Ruben muttered into his coffee the next morning about odd artifacts in the video feed. We searched the area and went over our research with no sign of anything. The next night was only briefly disturbed by Tobias rousing us to check on a repeating sound that disappeared once we started looking for it. Thing is, things escalated quickly after that. Bridget was found the next morning adding up columns of numbers and supplies over and over again. Nothing could entice her away from the work. Eventually, Ruben left with her to take her to the clinic, keeping her occupied with a ledger book she wrote frantically in. They never came back. They never arrived at the clinic. They have not been seen since. Unaware at the time of the fate of my companions, of our companions, Tobias and I opted to stay one more night. It was a mistake. I found him just past midnight, banging his head against the wall. Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, was all he said. As I attempted to guide him back to the bed, I heard a sound behind us, and I looked. I see it whenever I close my eyes. You would think that would mean I could describe it to you. I cannot. I have a feeling that that is a good thing. That even a description of it would be bad. I'm still holding on to my sanity at the moment. At least, I believe I am. I can feel the edges of it crumbling. And I know it won't be long. So before I'm completely lost, let me warn you, do not go to the refuge. Whatever is there cannot be understood. Should not be understood. It should be forgotten. If only I could.